presentation? Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It is 2 o'clock. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for Career Pathway Certificate Programs virtual visit days focus on our transportation, manufacturing, and construction. My name is Samari Neely. I am the Outreach Success Coach. We also have Shara Sparrow on the call as well, and she is the Earn and Learn Success Coach. We have Alex Monahan. She is the Trades Program Manager. Sarah Geckin, she is the Transportation Director. And Jordan O'Connell, he is the Success Model Coordinator. Jordan will be monitoring the chat box, so if you have any questions, please feel free to enter those into the chat box and we will answer throughout the presentation. This presentation will also be recorded and uploaded to our NICC page as well as YouTube. Career Pathway Certificates are specific short-term 6 months or less training options that lead to employment or continued education in our diploma or associate degree programs at NICC. We offer these programs to address shortages of middle-skilled employees. Curriculum for the programs are developed in joint effort between NICC, area companies, and community partners. Most certificates are connected to diploma programs, allowing students to also earn college credits. Anyone interested in expanding their skill set are able to join any of our Career Pathway certificates. Okay, so now I'm going to walk you through the process of our Career Pathway certificate. The first step is to meet with your success coach to complete the intake paperwork as well as overview of the program and gap application tuition assistance. The next steps is to register to take the CASA assessment. The CASA assessment is for anyone seeking tuition assistance. The assessment takes between 2.5 to 3 hours and is focused on your basic math as well as reading. The assessment is also offered at our NICC Dubuque Center. So upon completion of the CASA assessment, you will meet back up with your success coach to review your score. If you did not score in one of the areas that is required for a specific program, your success coach will connect you with an IET tutor who will then work with you one-on-one before and throughout the course of the program to ensure that you are successful through the program. The next step is to interview with NICC staff as well as one of our partners for the specific program that you're interested in. What we like to do at NICC is to conduct mock interview to prepare you so when you're in front of the partner, you successfully interview. We also have staff with our disability services. So we do encounter students who have had IEP plans as well as some disability issues when they come into our program. So what we like to do is connect a student with one of our disability service staff members so that they can create a plan of action as well as supports to help throughout the course of the program to ensure your success. Some of our programs that we offer for career pathways are in advanced manufacturing, construction, auto tech, mechanic, and transportation, business, marketing, hospitality, education, public and human services, as well as health sciences. So right now I'm going to pause before we go to the next slide for any questions that anyone may have.
Nothing from the chat currently.
Okay.
That's me. My name is Jordan O'Connell. Samari introduced me initially. I also serve as sort of the program manager for some of the advanced manufacturing programs directly in the Piasta area. So we do have some advanced manufacturing classes coming up. Specifically, we'll see CNC a little bit later this summer, August 11th. We're just finishing up a current class right now. You can see there on the presentation that CNC references credit transfer to the CNC Machinist Technician Diploma Program, a one-year program within that same lab space on the Piasta campus. And so one of our students is taking advantage of that currently. So he completed his CPC, the Career Pathway Certificate, and where some of the students are going to be joining the workforce, he's opting instead this fall to join the credit program and continue his training. He can do that pretty seamlessly, and he'll bring in credits directly into the program. So that's an advantage of our Career Pathway Certificate programs, is that they do lead directly to the workforce, but you can continue a lot of these into our credit program and then sort of continue your education and increase your odds at higher level position down the road too. So that's computer numerical controls, really nice equipment at the Piasta campus. It's a 148-hour class. We generally do it 2 nights a week out at the Piasta campus. So that is a program that we offer in the evenings, and that'll be coming up August 11th. We have a couple welding classes coming up, and those are that's a pretty popular program. It's MIG welding specifically. It's about the same number of hours you see there, 144. We do that one generally in the evenings in 3 nights a week. But we do have an accelerated class. So it's the same MIG welding class, 144 hours. But coming up here, June 15th, we will have a very short 6-week version of that class. That's a daytime program option. And so you can do the welding program very quickly this summer. You can also do it starting this fall, August 25th, in that evening format. And both do go ahead and go into our welding diploma program, which also begins in the fall. Industrial maintenance, we're excited to run. We're putting a class together for coming up here June 16th, around the same time as that accelerated welding class. And so very small group, again, in the Piasta campus, which leads directly into our industrial maintenance technician program. Graduates of this program are in high demand. We finished with a small group of 4 students last time, and all of them were employed by the time that program was over. This is a little bit shorter. You can see 138 hours, but it's just such a high demand field that our graduates are snatched up right away. So you're working on sort of factory level equipment is where a lot of our folks will go into, filling a very important niche that's being lost as people retire from the field. As equipment gets more and more complex, we need people with critical thinking skills, patience, and aptitude for technological skills here to join that workforce. Industrial sewing is the last one we're running here. We have one starting this July. You can see July 27th. We just firmed up those dates. And now that's a specific field, and Right Height is one of our featured local employers. It's looking for folks who can do not garments or clothing necessarily, but higher end technical and industrial applications for sewing. So think like a seat cushion or very big purse or something like that. The local employers are working with specific industry demands for sort of big projects is what they're sewing. And we have a nice sewing space. Now this one is actually at the Dubuque Center. So the other programs were in Piasta. This one is downtown at the Dubuque Center of NICC. You can see it's a little bit shorter, 120 hours. We tend to do that one 2 or 3 days in the evenings as well. So that's sort of a quick rundown of advanced manufacturing programs happening here in the Dubuque Piasta area. And all 4 of those have openings. We've got spots open for all of those upcoming classes. So if you are interested, contact me, Samaria, Shara, with any questions as we sort of head into summer here. And there are certainly openings, and we're eager to talk you through the process of enrolling or applying for tuition assistance.
All right, don't see any questions about advanced manufacturing, so thank you, Jordan. We'll move into the construction program. So that is going to be Samaria starting with the overview for that.
Okay, so our building construction program is 97 hours of training, and it takes 3 months. And this program is basically offered during the daytime, a couple days throughout the week at our downtown Dubuque Center, as well as our lab, on-site lab, where students are actually doing their hands-on training with classroom. High SED and high school diploma is required. A student must be 18 by the end of the program in order to go into the employment field. Students are also able to transfer some of the credits earned in the building construction to our trades diploma program. The next class will be starting on July 6th at our Piasta campus. We also have our construction equipment operator. That is a 91-hour of training that is completed within 5 weeks. That class is offered also at our Piasta campus a couple days a week during the daytime. A high school diploma or GED is required. Student must be 18 by the end of the course. Driver's license are also required, and it has to be a clean driving record as well. We also conduct drug screening. So the next class will be in the spring of 2021 at our Piasta campus. Alex, is there anything that you would like to add to this?
Yeah, I would. So our building construction equipment operator class is very unique. We do have multiple opportunities for students to sign up for this class. So this summer we actually have a couple different classes that have the construction building available in different ways. So one, we have our career pathway certificate building construction class that starts on July 6th. But if you also would like to sign up for the credit side of things, which is a 2-year program, you can also sign up for the credit building construction program class as well. That's joint together with our career pathway certificate and credit course class that is all in the June 6th course. So if that's of interest to you, I encourage you to visit the website just to learn more, read more about what that all entails. And then in the springtime, as Samaria was discussing about the equipment operator class, you can sign up for just the equipment operator class, or you can sign up for the the dual building construction and the construction operator class. So Samaria, I'll let you take that one over. I apologize for jumping ahead.
No, that's okay. I appreciate it. So just like Alec explained, you can do the dual building construction, which is a component of both programs, the building construction as well as the equipment operator program. Both of those classes are total hours of 136 hours of training, and you can complete that course within 3 months. We're actually in the process of finishing up both of those classes. We have students that are only in building construction, and then we have students who have taken advantage of both the building construction as well as the heavy equipment operator. So students will be finished with that class June 15th of this year. So the next class will be in the spring of 2021 in the Piasta campus.
And I'll just talk a little bit about our Earn and Learn component of the construction program. We have various Earn and Learn programs available, opportunities available in a variety of our programs, but specifically for construction, we partner with the Four Mountains Foundation in Dubuque to provide paid hours while you're completing the hands-on portion or the lab portion. So that's something like 45 hours of paid work where you're actually on a job site. We have a group that just started this week that's on a job site with in a couple locations in downtown Dubuque. And yeah, so it's a really good opportunity to be paid while you're in class, essentially. So Four Mountains provides that opportunity, but it's also available with other companies. So if you're already working with a construction company or related, and you can get that approved so that those hours will allow you to complete the required lab component. So that's part of both the building construction and the dual construction has those components. So yeah, so that's a really good opportunity for Earn and Learn. And we're working on expanding that into some other programs as well.
I would also add to I was able to stop down at the house today where the construction building students are at, and what they're learning is completely a complete remodel from start to finish. From gutting the house to putting the cabinets in and painting and hanging the light fixtures and all that good stuff. So you really do learn the whole ins and outs of of remodeling a home during that hands-on portion.
All right. If there aren't any questions about construction at this point, actually, we do have one in the chat box. Mike's asking, what will these classes look like in terms of COVID safety? Are there masks, social distancing, things like that? Alex, do you want to address that? We are actually dealing with that right now. So,
yes.
Go ahead.
So a great question. We are following the proper PPE standards for our students to wear. So all of our students have safety glasses, masks, gloves, and also helmets on at all times. We also, during the lecture part of it, the students are 6 feet apart for sure. And right now we have a group of students that, it's a group of 5 students that are, that were there today, and 2 students were working with one instructor at one house, and 3 students are working with an instructor at a second house. So we do try to limit the number of individuals in the groups, so we can really focus on that social distancing to the best that we can. Now, with that being said, when you're in construction, some areas of work are going to need, you're going to be needed in a tighter area, so it might not follow that 6 feet of social distancing, but it's something that we do ask our students to be aware, let them know that we are taking proper precautions of that. We do provide everybody with hand sanitizer and have a very clean and thorough wipe down of the spaces and equipment that is used from each student before and after using the equipment as needed. So we are as thorough as we can, but we do talk with our students prior to the lab portion and lecture portion of what it's going to look like, and ask that everybody does sign off on certain waivers so that they are aware of the precautions and feel safe to themselves as well.
We should absolutely probably all sort of, as if program managers who are here, should address this, I think, because I think people do want to hear this. Very similar in advanced manufacturing to what Alex just laid out. We are like, where you fit the official college policy, we're like in phase 1 of our sort of COVID response is, if you can't social distance, you need to wear a mask. And so that's what's going on in CNC and welding. We're redesigning classrooms to some extent, moving things around to sort of facilitate that, make that possible. A lot of things have shifted online. A lot of these programs really can't be done online. And so we're finding ways to make it work. So CNC, welding, we're locking up the welding masks in everyone's coats and gloves within their own individual lockers, so that people aren't sharing equipment. That's a huge emphasis at the college as well. So we're 2 months into this thing, but we have a pretty solid plan, and we've implemented it across each CPC, like how we can proceed safely. And we're not proceeding unless we can do it safely.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Thank you, Jordan. Okay. Any other construction or other program questions up to this point? Okay. So we're going to move into the transportation. So Samari will start with an overview of that. We'll bring in Sarah and Jake as well to answer any questions that we have. So go ahead, Samaria.
Okay, so for transportation, we have 2 different pathways that students are able to enter. So the first one is our basic commercial driver's license, so our CDL. The training is 80 hours, and that will include classroom training as well as driving and home study. Students must be 18 by the start of the course, because you will need to be 18 in order to obtain your CDL permit at the DOT prior to enrolling in a class. The next class, I believe, starts June 8th at the Piasta campus. Is that correct, Sarah?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. And then our semi-truck driving course, that's more so of a longer 4 to 5 week course. It is offered at the Piasta campus. Students are usually in a classroom from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. That includes a combination of classroom time, driving time, as well as home study time. Again, students must be 18 by the start of the course in order to obtain their CDL permit before entering the course. The next class we have started, I believe, is in the summer or fall, correct, Sarah?
We just got dates set up for starting July 6th and September 8th.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So both programs, they require students to have their commercial learner's permit, and you can get that through the DOT at the cost of $8. You can retake this as often as you can. It is important that you pick up the study guide from the DOT. There's also an app available that students can download to their phone to study. So similar questions on the app will be on the permit, the CDL permit, when you go and you do your test. Also, a DOT medical and drug screen is required prior to enrolling in the class. These are out-of-pocket expenses, so we do have tuition assistance, but for the additional requirements, students will be required to use money out of their own pocket to pay forward. I will let Sarah touch up on the FMCSA clearinghouse registration, because that's fairly new to us, so we're all learning. So since she's the program director, the transportation director, she can speak more to this.
Okay. Yeah, that is a fairly new process that the Federal Motor Carriers Safety Administration has added just to help track drivers and make sure they have a clean record. So after you get your DOT or your CDL permit, they do ask that you go in and register yourself as a new commercial driver. And then as you move forward in your career as a commercial driver, that will help them track if you ever have any hits on your drug screenings that your employers will be requiring as you go through your career. It's just a good way for them to track that. And then future employers, if they go and look, they can look at your records and see that you're a clean driver, and that will help encourage them to hire you as a driver in their business.
And the employment outlook is really great as well for either CDL or the semi-truck. I know that most students who complete the course, some have found employment with the Jewel, with the Dubuque Community School District, driving a bus, some with Swiss Valley, Prairie Farm. So the outlook for employment for CDL is definitely great and available.
Yeah, I'm going to unmute Jake if you'd like to say anything about some of the opportunities with the Jewel right now. I'm trying to unmute him.
Hi, I am Jake Ironside. I'm a transportation analyst with the city of Dubuque and the Jewel. We're always on the lookout for new drivers. It's an ongoing process. Just looking for anyone that is willing to work part-time to drive our minibuses or even our medium duty and heavy duty buses. At this time, given the COVID situation, I know it's a little tricky getting enough people to cover all the shifts. So I think at this point we're looking for a few people.
Okay. Jake, if you wanted to type something into the chat box about ways people can contact you or a website or anything like that, feel free. That'd be great.
Sure, I can do that.
That's great. Any questions for Jake or Sarah or anything about the transportation programs or the requirements at this point? All right. Thank you very much. So I believe that is all of our, that's our programs. So I will talk to you a little bit more about some of the general things with all of our career pathways certificate programs. So Opportunity Dubuque is the name of these career pathway short-term training programs in Dubuque specifically, and we have some things that are available with that. One of them is Childcare Support. So the Greater Dubuque Development Corporation has offered child support through a grant. So while you're in class, while you're in any of the class components, including earn and learn hours or anything like that, you're eligible for childcare support. And then as well, when you complete the program, and as long as you're working in the field for up to a year, there's sort of a step-down program to help cover those costs as well. So it's a really good opportunity if that's a barrier for you. So you can talk to any of the coaches who can help you to apply for that. You do have to apply through Department of Human Services and some other steps, but there's a good partnership there. So be sure to ask about that. Let's see, we do have a question. I will come back to that in just a minute. So we do have really good partners, like I mentioned. The Greater Dubuque Development Corporation is just one of them. Multiple local community and business partners, so people that provide grants to help with tuition assistance, as well as employment opportunities. So the success coaches are really here to help the students from beginning of the process all the way through to employment and continued employment coaching. And business sponsors are, looking for our students. They know that we provide good training, and so we help you to get interviews set up, to help you with your resume, and all those prep things. So that support is provided for up to a year after program completion. And our programs have a very high employment rate. So within a year of employment, a very high percentage of our students are employed, most of them in the field. So just know that support is always there. It's not just the application process, it's all the way through class and all the way through to employment placement as well. So you have met Samaria, who was speaking at the beginning and throughout. I'm Shara, and Jordan was speaking about advanced manufacturing. So these are our contact information. You can find all of this, of course, on our website as well. We are available, by phone, even if we're not in our physical offices right now, at the regular NICC number or our individual text numbers as well. So it doesn't have to be a specific program. You can reach out to any one of us, and we'll get you started on what you need to. So if there are any other questions, let me just check.
Yeah, we've got one from Josh, and Samari touched on it initially, but just a quick maybe walkthrough of the interview process and some of the forms and paperwork for someone looking for tuition assistance.
Okay, let me go back to that slide, actually. Bear with me for a moment.
And then maybe we can jump into this one first. Jesse asked about the childcare program. He said, are there income restrictions on the childcare program?
Probably with DHS, if you apply for DHS, and that's one of the first requirements, is that you go through DHS and they determine if you qualify or not, and that's based on your income. So then if you don't qualify, then we'll look at it and help you from there.
Yeah, to add on to what Samari is saying, yeah, we want you to tap into any benefits you're entitled to already. But if you're not, no matter what your income is, we want you to, if you want a class, we want to help you make that possible. So we would fund childcare support if you don't have that. If that's what you need, we will help with that. But we do want you to access benefits you might be eligible for already first.
Great, yes, thank you. And so as far as Josh's question, so I brought the screen back up. So the initial meeting with the success coach right now, obviously that looks a little bit different. That would usually be a phone call or over Zoom, something like what we're doing right now. The paperwork is available with fillable PDFs. So that's something that would be sent to you in an email from a coach and then would need to be sent back. If you are looking for tuition assistance for the classes, that requires a couple of steps, paperwork, verifying your income. So that's all things that we walk with very closely with you through those processes, explain all the paperwork, everything like that. The assessment is something that needs to be scheduled in person at the Dubuque Center or at a center in your area with your coach, and that's just in order to be eligible for the tuition assistance. It's not necessarily a test, like a pass or not pass kind of situation, just a placement test, if you will. And then the interview is kind of the end thing that gets you the specific program opportunity to meet with the possibly instructors, program managers, as well as other staff, and ask and answer questions about the program specifically. So hopefully that answers, gives you a little bit opportunity to look at that screen again.
I'll jump in real quick, Shara. That kind of sounds like a lot. You alluded to how closely we work with students on this process. It sounds like a lot, but we work through it one piece at a time. And it can be done, it can actually be done fairly quickly. You know, we want you to start some stuff early. Like the childcare is a good point. Like that's something we want to help with, and we want to start that as early as we possibly can before a class starts. But you know, we'll take you where you're at, and we'll go at your pace. You know, there's one I think one student enrolled in a class. He kind of walked in. He had all day, and we were able to kind of. He almost walked away having been. I think it was the next day he was actually funded. So in 24 hours, he did everything he needed to do. Right
And
now,
we have a lot of students like that actually that are they're quick turnaround, and we have some students that kind of wait and take their time, but it can be done just like you said in a very quick turnaround time frame.
One piece of like that, you know, we need income statements, so that can kind of slow things down, and that's okay. We don't, you know, we keep tabs on you, we check in with you. So just, you know, if you're working, because we need family income to make sure that you qualify, you know, pay stubs, that kind of thing. Sometimes folks will need to go contact an employer to get that, and you'll bring it back to us. So we're keeping track, and then when everything's ready to go, we send it off for approval from one of the college VPs that has control over our tuition assistance dollars. And then we'll keep working with you and follow up after that.
Good, thank you. Any additional questions related to that or other questions? Okay. So again, a quick review. Today we're specifically talking about advanced manufacturing and construction and transportation. We will have additional info sessions available for the next couple of Thursdays, 2 o'clock, same place, same time, to look at some of the other programs. So if you're interested in those, you can certainly find that information and join us at 2 o'clock next week. Otherwise, you can, of course, reach out to one of the coaches. Sorry, I'll go back to that screen. And we can go over those details with you individually as well. So last kind of check if there's any questions or clarifications that are needed. Okay, so I'm just gonna put in the chat that we are going to be offering, if you are willing to take our survey, we would really appreciate hearing from you. So we really appreciate you attending. If you do complete our survey, we will follow up with you, of course, and reach out to you about the specific programs that you're interested in, answer any questions, and you'll also get a free NICC t-shirt. So make sure that you put your size in there at the bottom of the survey. And I will put that into the link. It'll look something like this. I'll open it for you. Slowly, there we go. It'll look something like this. And you can follow this link. And you will have an opportunity to get a t-shirt. So any other questions right now?
Nothing in the chat.
Okay, so everyone see the link there?
Yep.
For the survey. All right, excellent. So I'll leave that there for a minute. All right, so if there's not any other questions, thank you everyone for attending. Thank you everyone for your participation. And like I said, next week back here at 2 o'clock, if you're interested in any of the other programs we didn't talk about today, or if you filled the survey, which we would really love to hear from you, you'll get a follow-up very soon. All right, thank you everyone. I will just be hanging out for a few minutes in case there's anything else or if anybody wants to click on that link. Otherwise, yeah, have a great day. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.